What do Falcons do? Rise up. And apparently also not protect our quarterback and fail to run the ball and establish a run and establish much of anything on offense. But anyways, I digress. Welcome to Rise Up Reactions, the show we talk all things Falcons, NFL, Georgia sports, and in general the sports news of the day. I'm your host, Dr. Lee Denning, the Golden Hard Doc, and a lifelong sports fan even when we lose. So, Falcons, we lost to the Detroit Lions. I picked us to win. I really didn't have much hope that we were actually going to because I just see Detroit as a very good football team overall. Probably top 12 in the NFL, maybe a little bit better when they're firing on all cylinders. But I digress. It is what it is. It's okay. We'll bounce back. We do go to London next week, which could be anybody's game. But let's talk about the stats real quick. Desmond Ridder, 201 yards, 21 for 38, no turnovers, but got sacked 7 times. I would argue at least half of those were his own fault, and the other half were the fact that he had no time to actually throw the ball. The right side of the line completely collapsed, just like I was afraid it would. McGarry versus Aiden Hutchinson was a terrible, terrible idea. You had Chris Lindstrom actually missing a tackle very early on their back-to-back sacks where they got to us on a line shift. And yeah, it was just not a great look overall for the Falcons here. The Detroit Lions had like 1 sack going into this game, and now they have 8 on the year, which is ridiculous. Never got the run game going. We had a total of 44 yards on the ground. We will never win a single damn game if that's all we can manage with this team. We are supposed to be a run and then gun team. So run did not work out. Bijan never got anything going. They effectively shut us down from that standpoint. We had to lean more on Ridder, which is not going to be a recipe for success. Now, fourth quarter or into the third, going into the fourth, Jesse Bates had an interception. I got super excited. I will go ahead and tell you, I'll show my little short right here. But I got super duper excited. I thought we were about to come back. It was only 13-3 at that point. I really thought that we were going to find a way to come back. We were in their territory, and we were going to do what we've done in the fourth quarter for the last 2 games and find some way to come back and make some magic happen. Well, the clock struck midnight, and we did not manage to do that. So, just, again, very bad showing on offense. Defense, okay, look, I think the Detroit Lions are going to be a better offense overall. They were missing David Montgomery, but, again, Sam Laporta looked phenomenal. Thank God I had him in FanDuel. He was a recommended pick. I ended up taking him in almost every league. He did pretty well for me, and he was on the guy who won the $1 million maker or the $500,000 maker this time. He was on his lineup. So overall, pretty good there. Then you had Amon-Ra St. Brown absolutely torching us for 102 yards. But overall, we held them to 243 yards through the air. This is a team that in the past I think would have given up 350 in a game like this. 115 yards on the ground. Jahmyr Gibbs looked pretty good about half the time. He was either getting big chunks or he was getting nothing. And I think that's a testament to our defensive line. They were out there a lot. I don't have right in front of me the time of possession, but I just feel like the time of possession had to swing for the Lions as much as I felt like I was watching them out there. I'll see if I can find that anywhere on here, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. This was just a slugfest from the very beginning. It never really felt like we were in the game, especially, again, we opened up with 3 straight pass plays. What are we doing? What are we doing when we open up with 3 straight pass plays? We are a running team, Arthur. A running team. I know you will never see this. We are a running team. I know you want to establish the pass. I know you want to give the fan base faith in Ridder. We're a running team. Please run the ball. When we have 44 yards on the ground, we will not win a game. We need at least 130, 140 yards on the ground to even be competitive with the team that you built. 44 yards ain't going to cut it. And again, Ridder, as much as I like him, he is not going to be the guy through the air. He is not Patrick Mahomes. We cannot lean on him purely and win. And a lot of Falcons fans are going to say, well, in that case, it's time to move on from Ridder. I don't think it's quite time yet. I think he needs to have at least 7 to 8 games this season for us to see what we've got. He's played relatively okay for 2 of them, and then he looked like hot garbage yesterday. So, again, I think it's going to be a little tincture of time. We're still rebuilding. I still think we have an easier schedule ahead of us than what we have behind us. But again, I think if anything else this week could stand out, the NFL is nothing if not parity. Let's just very, very rapidly go through the scores here. There were some definite shockers, and I was stupid and did not change my pick to Kansas City, which I said I was going to do for the Eliminator Challenge, and stupidly, apparently, picked the Cowboys over the Arizona Cardinals. So let's start with this garbage. 49ers beating the crap out of the Giants. Giants look bad right now. You had the Browns knocking the crap out of the Tennessee Titans. Didn't think that was going to happen. Thought Titans would probably win that one. You had the Packers beating the Saints, which, again, I thought they would, but thank God they did because the Saints have now lost. Carolina lost. Tampa Bay goes tonight, and we'll see. Hopefully Tampa Bay loses, and that way we don't lose any ground. The Dolphins, again, we had a bad day. We did not have a Broncos bad day. Giving up a 70, I don't even know what you call this. It's a 50 burger. It's a 70 shake. I don't know. A 70 whatever Sunday, whatever you want to call it. It's bad. 70 points. The most points scored in 57 years of football. It ties the record. They could have gotten a field goal and gotten the record, but they chose not to. That's bad. Now, I picked the Dolphins, but god dang, that's bad. Then you had the Washington Commies getting blown out at home by the Bills. You had the Texans somehow smashing the Jaguars. Didn't see that happening. But now the Texans, all of a sudden, the Jaguars are 1-2. The Texans are 1-2. Most of the teams in this division are sub 500. We got to start talking about them as a legitimate team. The Colts, of all the teams, found a way to beat the Ravens. So this was a weird Sunday. Very weird Sunday. We've got 2 more games going tonight with the Rams at Bengals. Again, on that one, I've said if Joe Burrow's not playing, which it looks like he is, then I would pick the Rams. But I still think the Rams could beat the Bengals at Cincinnati if Joe Burrow has not found his groove yet. If he hasn't found his groove, this is going to be a Rams win. If he finds his groove and plays well, it's a Bengals win. Easy enough. And then you got the Eagles at the Buccaneers. Somebody's got to lose or tie, but I'm going to say the Eagles do get that game. So again, guys, it was a disappointing Sunday. It was definitely crap for the most part, but again, we can learn from this. There are some bright spots to take away here. We did have, I think, at least 1 sack in this game. I think it was a Bud Dupree sack if I remember correctly. But again, it's kind of hard to think about the positives when you get lost in such a sea of crap. No, we didn't have a sack. We just got pressure on him. So I thought he sacked him, but he just got pressure. So no sacks. That is another thing we got to talk about. I said one of the keys to the game was going to be the front board putting pressure. David Onyemata was putting a lot of pressure, but could never get to the quarterback. We have got to find a way to install whatever it was that made Ryan Nielsen popular in New Orleans, because he hadn't done it so far. We're better overall. I will say we are better as a defensive unit from top to bottom. Easily better than we've been in the last 5 years. But we still are not doing what we need to or what we expected with Ryan Nielsen. I expected us to be middle of the pack or better in sacks. We have only gotten a handful of sacks through 3 games. We are still at the bottom of the NFL for that, and we cannot win when we do that. But guys, that's all I got for you today. Disappointing Monday. We'll bounce back. We'll be in Jacksonville. I thought I might stream that game, but I am going to be doing something else instead. But thank you for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing. Had a big boost for me in subscribers this past weekend, getting a few, like 3 or 4. Thank you guys to those of you who are new to the community. Please, if you have not done so, to the rest of you, consider hitting that subscribe button. It helps my channel grow, and I just really appreciate it. It'll help me reach more people. But thank you, and as always, rise up.